Welcome to Zeki Gadgets, make your life easier.
Personal everyday device. And I do think it's a great phone overall. But as we head further and further into 2020, with rumors of a new, cheaper iPhone coming out soon, and countless other new and inexpensive Android devices flooding the space too, I think it's time we re-review the iPhone 11. We'll look back over the last few months of using this thing, and I'll talk about all of the things I like and the things that I don't like. And also, I do want to evaluate whether or not the iPhone 11 is a good purchase right now, moving forward, if maybe you are in the market for a new phone. The iPhone 11 screen is an IPS LCD panel with a resolution of just 7. Looks good. There's nothing wrong with the viewing experience in general. Yeah, you might be able to pick out the pixels, but it's still a bright and colorful display. And for a vast majority of people, they probably won't know any different, especially coming from an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 8, which I think most people interested in this phone would be. And size-wise, I think 6.1 inches is that perfect fit. It's not too big. They do really well. The A13 Bionic chipset and Apple-designed GPU inside this phone are tough to analyze. You can't exactly make a direct comparison to like the latest Snapdragon processor necessarily. And the 4 gigs of RAM this phone packs might even suggest the device is underpowered. But you have to base your judgment on the overall experience of using the iPhone 11 each day. And coupled with the latest version of iOS, Apple offers the kind of UI and ecosystem that people just can't seem to give up, myself included. Using the iPhone has been a nearly flawless experience. Because Apple has so much control over everything, even the third-party apps from the App Store, there just isn't really anything that goes wrong. Obviously, this is still a current iPhone after all, and I don't think it's slowed down at all since I've had it, which is good. And I don't expect to anytime soon. Performance is great, the phone is fast, and any game or app in the App Store is going to run well on this phone, of course. And looking ahead, I think Apple is also really committed to offering updates with its phones for years to come. You can literally get the latest version of iOS on the iPhone SE, which came out in 2016. So likely the iPhone 11 will have a 4 or 5 year lifespan at a minimum. And that's great because you are still paying a ton for this phone. So having the latest software and support, I think, is a big plus. When it comes to battery life, this is something I've gone back and forth with. Right off the bat, I should tell you that after 6 months, my battery health somehow is already down to 94%, so at least a percentage decrease per month so far. I suspect that's partly due to the fact that I utilize a USB-C fast charger every single day, and that consistent fast charging is rumored to negatively affect the health of the battery. But I also do use my iPhone a lot each day, so it's not like it's getting a break either. There are times when I know I'm staring at my phone more than usual, and it doesn't always make it through the day. But if I can keep my hands off it for just a little bit, the iPhone 11 can still make it through the day and then some with 7 or more hours of screen on time. I'll have like 20% of life left or more, and I think that's pretty good. There have only been a few times thus far where I was surprised at how quickly the iPhone was drained, but through casual day-to-day use, like endless Twitter scrolling, YouTube videos, texting, and a handful of games here and there, things like that, I think the iPhone does do a nice job getting through. So before we get into the cameras, let me just touch on a few other pros and cons here with this phone. First off, the stereo speaker setup is great. I think Apple offers one of the best out loud listening experiences on any phone, and I'm always playing music, videos, or games using those great external speakers. You've got wireless charging, which I personally never use, but it's there at least. And the iPhone is IP68 water and dust resistant. I have put that to the test in the shower, in the pool, in the sink, and countless other instances, and I can say that I've never had a problem there. So in regards to the cameras, I've been fortunate enough to take probably hundreds, if not thousands of pictures at this point with this phone. I've also compared it, talking about night mode specifically. I think the iPhone's night mode is great, especially when you let it do its thing during a super long exposure shot. But in like dim lighting outdoors or dim indoor shots, shadowy outdoor shots, stuff like that, the iPhone struggles to balance the lighting and capture the detail. It's not like it's a bad picture, but things just look a little dull. For most people, the camera setup is going to be great. It's way better than average, and there's a lot of potential. But as other smartphone manufacturers continue to focus on their camera tech specifically by adding more lenses and introducing more features, and overall just making it a main selling point, I think the iPhone 11 this year is going to have a tougher time competing. And looking ahead, I'm interested to see how Apple compensates in the fall with its latest iPhones. So here are my final thoughts. If it wasn't obvious already, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with the iPhone 11. And looking ahead at the long term, this is absolutely a phone I could have for 3 or 4 years at least. I know it's going to be supported, I know it's going to hold up, and realistically, it's also going to retain a significant chunk of its value too. I can look past some of its flaws because what it does well, the software, the user experience, the build quality, the cameras, it does really well. And for that reason, I still have no problem recommending this phone, even if you are looking to buy one well into 2020.
Subscribe Zeki Gadgets for new innovations.